Hi guys, welcome back to Crafty Christmas in July with Heather's Crafty Life and lots of other ladies below. Make sure you check out those links and comment because there is going to be a prize at the end of the month of July, and you will need to have commented on everyone's videos, or you'll get I think you get an entry for every comment that you make, and you do need to be subscribed to all of the video or all of the YouTubers. So here I am. I was inspired for this layout. A couple of weeks ago, I had a couple of scrappy friends over, a few scrappy friends over, and one of my friends, Amanda, had this layout that I just loved. It had all different paper layers, kind of going in different angles, and I just loved how it looked. And so I'm using her design to do this layout. I did not use as many papers as she did, mostly because I just didn't have enough in my stash that went together. But this is going to be a Christmas layout. That beautiful wood grain is from Felicity Jane Christmas from a couple of years ago, and that's going to be my background paper. The rest of the papers, unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure where they come from. I do think the diagonal stripe one is from Elle Studio, but unfortunately the rest I'm not sure because I just have all of my Christmas stuff in a box, an iris case, and I was pulling from that. So I'm scrapping a photo of my little Kaya, and she is just a sweet little girl that I get to babysit and get to be part of her life, and I just absolutely adore her. This is actually the Christmas card that I received from her mom and her last year, 2 years ago, I think, and I just loved it so much that I decided I would scrap it. So that is how my layers are going to be, pretty much what you're seeing there. And that HoHoHo has been in my stash for years. I'm saying probably 10 years. And I got it on clearance somewhere at Michael's or just a big box store. And it's just been in my Christmas stash waiting to be used. And this was the perfect opportunity. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew around each of these pattern papers just to add a little bit of texture, because this is going to be a pretty flat layout. There's not going to be anything on dimension, and I felt like it just was way too flat. So by adding the stitching, that gives it another texture, which kind of feels dimensional, and I really do love the way it looks. You may not really be able to see it well when you see it on this, goodness gracious, video, but definitely in the close-ups. So because there's so much going on here, I'm going to be doing basically a diagonal design with two clusters. One up at the top left, and I'm just going to be doing some banners, and one at the bottom right. And I'm basically using some old ephemera from Elle Studio, and some acetate pieces from Pink Fresh Studio. Then I do end up pulling in a couple of rubber charms from Felicity Jane and a couple of puffy stickers as well. This was such a fun layout to do. It went by super quickly. In fact, I don't even believe I edited much out of this video. And I love how it looks, and I just think the picture is perfect. Now, as you can see, the picture is a 5x7. So it does take up a lot of real estate on this page, which, definitely does not allow me to do much embellishing. So this type of large paper layering is actually perfect to try with a larger photo like this. So you're going to see me just tucking things in, trying things out, and in a moment is when I'm going to go ahead and start lifting up those papers and putting the stitching around. So have you all checked out any of the ladies' links below, and have you been inspired by any of the videos? I'd love to hear from you and see if you're joining in and if you are scrapping any of your Christmas photos this month of July. Like I said in the beginning, make sure that you subscribe to everyone and comment on the videos. And Heather has a Christmas prize pack at the end of the month. I think there might be a couple of other subscribers, or other, not subscribers, other ladies that are joining in that may also have prizes at the end, and I'm sure they will be talking about that in their channel, on their videos. So make sure you check out those as well. Okay, let's see what I'm doing. I am still pulling out little bits and pieces here for the embellishments, and this is where I'm going to scoop my paper over, and I have a very small, it's called Janome Home. It's a very small, very lightweight sewing machine that I keep on the shelf under my desk, and it has, I think it might be like a child's machine because it goes only a certain speed, and it is absolutely perfect for scrapbooking. I bring this to crops with me. It's so light and easily portable. I absolutely love it. So I did not make you painstakingly watch me stitch through, around all of those layers. But they are done, and you will be able to see them on the close-ups like I mentioned before. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything glued down, and then I'll just start kind of putting everything back together, and it's going to come together pretty quickly, and that will be it. I really would encourage you, especially if you have a large photo, just grab some papers from your stash and build a background like this. It was just so much fun. It was not a lot of thinking, not a lot of planning, just kind of pulling and playing and just seeing what looks good. I really, really enjoyed it. So here we go. I'm putting the photo down. I did contemplate on whether or not I should put that photo on dimensionals, but I felt like if I did that, then the HoHoHo that I'm going to put on the side of the photo would have kind of looked flat. I don't know. I probably could have gone both ways, but I ended up not putting dimensional on the photo. The only thing I did was back that in white cardstock, which I did prior to filming because I think everyone knows how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my layout, and my favorite adhesive is the ATG. For wet glue, I use the Art Glitter Glue. Definitely when that is dry, you are not going to be able to remove anything. So I really, really love that glue, and I love it because it gives you a little bit of drying time. So it's not a quick dry. It doesn't take forever, but it just does take, several more seconds than the quick dry would, I think. So if you do need to move something around, you're able to do that. So what I'm doing in each of the clusters is I'm just making sure that the colors are balanced. So I want to make sure I've got some green in there and red. Both clusters have kind of a multicolored piece. I've got, I made a banner out of that diagonal striped paper for the top left cluster. And then in the bottom cluster, a part of the L Studio ephemera pack had a banner already pre-made that had different florals or like poinsettias, kind of Christmas flowers that brought in all of those colors together too. So I have a multi-photo, I cannot speak, a multicolor piece in each one. And then I'm going to bring in some green in each one, some red in each one. And when I start pulling in some other embellishments, I am going to put put a tree on each one of those, Christmas tree, and what else? Oh, there's a banner that I put down at the bottom, and it's gray, and it says Pure Joy on it. And as you'll see in the top left corner, where it says Bring On the Twinkle, that has some black in it. And so I wanted to make sure I had something that was black down in the lower right corner. And that banner says Pure Joy. And then in the Felicity Jane kit, Christmas kit, there was a round rubber piece, embellishment that spelt out joy, just like a scripty joy. And I laid that right over the joy word on the banner. And I absolutely love how that worked out. It fit in there absolutely perfect. And it was almost like it was meant to be. So now I do have a little bit of black in each section as well. I had a puffy sticker sheet from a Pink Fresh Studio collection, and I'm not sure if it's the same one as the ephemera. It may be. Like I said, I've just got everything kind of thrown in a bin, but I find this puffy sticker. It's a speech bubble that says, "Hey Santa," with an exclamation point, and that's what I put up at the top left corner. So basically it says, "Hey Santa, bring on the twinkle," and I thought that looked really cute. I thought about if I should embellish around the HoHoHo on the side of the photo, and in the end I decided not to. I kind of felt like it was just going to get too much going on those layers of the pattern paper to add more there. And it kind of felt like it would just be one big blob of embellishments going from the top left to the bottom right. And I did not want that to happen. So I opted just to keep the rhinestone HoHoHo on its own. And I'm really glad that I did. That's where I'm going to lay down that rubber Christmas tree, and I placed it just so it would be right under the heart on the die cut above it, so it kind of looks like instead of a star on top of the tree, there is a little heart, and I love how that worked out. I did put a puffy sticker house down in the right bottom corner, and then next to it a smaller version of that Christmas tree right next to the house. And then on the bottom right, I will add a red puffy heart. And then up at the top left, I'm going to add just a few puffy stars just to finish off this layout. Now, you will see, I'm not sure if I'm there yet, but Felicity Jane had these light bulbs, which if you turn them around, upside down, they look like just light bulbs. And I thought, what am I ever going to use these for? I mean, I think they are absolutely adorable. But then when I got to this layout, I was like, this is perfect. She's all covered in the Christmas lights in the photo. So I did some stitching with some gray and white twine down on the bottom there to string those rubber lights from the left side of the photo to the right, and that is what finishes off my layout. Here's some close-up shots for you. If you have any questions, leave them below. Thank you guys. Have a great night.